our Footie Fantasy podcast. And today's episode is not our typical soccer or football podcast. We're going to be piloting an NBA podcast because NBA is back and we also love it. On our show today, we have me, who is a Lakers fan, long-time NBA fan for over 2 decades. I'm part of the Black Mamba, part of the Black Mamba followership. or soon to be LeBron follower. So topics we're gonna talk about today will be Lakers and the new LeBron era, how that's gonna go, how short it might be. San Antonio Spurs, my team that I'm repping, and who got the better deal between them and Toronto in the swap for DeRozan and Kawhi Leonard, and who is the closest team that will challenge the Golden State Warriors in the West, and who will they possibly play in the finals from the East? So, LeBron.
No, thanks for having me on your show. So my thoughts on LeBron joining the Lakers, right? So as a fan, I'm excited because I finally feel for the last 5 years, this is our best chance of getting the playoffs. As a Laker fan, it's a very, very long time because we're used to we at least make it to the playoffs, right? We might not win the championship, but we make it to the playoffs. So to finally see that, the purple and gold is back in the playoffs, it's very, very exciting for me. But now LeBron, and you know how I feel about LeBron, right? You know how I feel about LeBron.
Yeah, I know.
LeBron he thinks 3 steps ahead of everybody. When LeBron makes a move, you literally have to dissect why did he really make that move, right? Like there's something in it for LeBron, right? Which I'm not knocking. It's okay. But how does that impact my team in the future? Because every team LeBron has gone to and he left, what happens to the team? They tank, they have bad contracts, they end up with bad guys that nobody want to come to. When he left Miami, they tanked, they have a bunch of bad contracts, they had to sign everybody, the team got old. He went to Cleveland, a young team, right? They had, Kyrie, they had some few young pieces, they had Tristan Thompson. But when he left, team tanks, bad contracts, they sign guys to max deals, and they get old. This is a trend that LeBron leaves after every team that he leaves. And I like now, but I think our future is going to be shaky because of LeBron. When LeBron is done with a team, the team does not look the same again. The time when he's there is great, but once he leaves, it's worse than it was before he came. But
do you think that's possibly because he likes like veterans around him?
No, I think LeBron, like I said, he's 3 steps ahead of everyone. LeBron is I wouldn't say he's an opportunist because having LeBron is a positive thing for you, right? But LeBron finds a team that he can build longevity with. LeBron is in his mid 33s, right? Yeah. So he knows he wants to get a lot more years. He's not about championship for LeBron. It's about long term, right? How can I continue to create more longevity, right? Mm-hmm. If he wants a championship, he could have easily come to the Houston Rockets. They would clear cap space. He would win it. They would beat the Golden State Warriors. Right. But if you come to the Houston Rockets, you're playing with Chris Paul, who is 30 plus old, guys that they're much older, right? You're playing with Harden, who's 28, 29. So you don't have that longevity. Yes, you win a championship this year and maybe next year, but after that, guys are getting older. You don't have longevity anymore. So you go to Lakers where half of the team are younger than 23. You have Kyle Kuzma, you have Joe Hart, you have Ingram, Lonzo. Half of the team is younger than 23. So you play with a team that is young that can build you that longevity that you truly want. So you're not doing work. You're telling guys what to do, right? You're being a facilitator, which is what LeBron wants to do, to conserve his energy while let this young guy run the ball and make the plays so we can win, right? So you do that. So that's an advantage of coming to the Lakers. And second point is, yes, as you obviously know, he has his movies, he has his, TV shows, production. So you also have that business aspect you can create with the Lakers. I say all of this to say I don't know if LeBron is going to be as competitive as I want him to be because LeBron is looking out for LeBron. LeBron is not necessarily looking out for Lakers. He's doing what's best for him in all these aspects. He'll get us to the playoffs,
Okay.
but can he get us further than that? I don't think he cares. My opinion.
You don't think he cares? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, based off the things that I said, that's why. Like, if it's is he, I mean, just kind of looking at everything, right? The longevity aspect and him trying to create all this side business, his son getting more exposure being out in LA,
Right.
so just looking at all these factors, LA definitely works for him. And the storyline of being a historic franchise, blah, 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 sure. But LA Lakers work best for him. But is he willing to give that hunger that he had in Miami there? No. Is he willing to give the same hunger that he had when he came back to Cleveland to help them win a championship? No, I don't think he has. He would like to win a championship. I'm not saying he doesn't, but the hunger level is different. He just wants to build longevity now.
Okay. That's a very fair point. I agree with some points that you say. Like the business for 100%. Yes, he has to look out for himself. I mean, I get that. Um, to play devil's advocate, right? There is a side to it where people say, Magic Johnson, right, promises him that for this season, let's see the pieces, young pieces who can step up, so that next year they can trade maybe one or two of them and get Kawhi or get Anthony Davis. Those are rumors, right? I don't know how true that is.
Right.
So that's one part of it, which is possible, right? And that's
Mm.
what interesting. The part I don't agree with about hunger is the hunger might not be there, but I don't think it's his choice because LeBron is a winner. What is going to affect the hunger is age. I think at some point, Daddy is going to knock like that. Daddy age or whatever it's called. Daddy age is going to knock at him out. Like he can't do the same things anymore.
Right.
That level of like playing at that high level, I don't think he can play like that anymore continuously. He might try this year and maybe be running for MVP. But yeah, like you said, he likes to facilitate. That's what he likes. He likes to
Right.
facilitate. So if next year Lakers don't get like a star player, a true all star, like an Anthony Davis or the rumor of Kevin Durant, which is a wild rumor, if none of those guys come or Kawhi, then I'll agree with that part that you said he doesn't really care. Because me, the guy, LeBron, I see, you know how I feel about him, but I went 360 with LeBron. Literally 360 from a pure hater to like, wow, this guy, after what he did in Cleveland, that guy I see is he's so competitive. I can't imagine LeBron saying, "Oh, he doesn't care." He's going to go all out regardless.
Right.
Would that be enough? It might look like not enough because there are too many young pieces. One, the other part of Lakers I see that's a major problem. There are no shooters in that team. For me, that's a major problem.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to hold the ball. He also wants to hold the ball. Ingram wants to be point guard. What's his name? This vet they got.
Lonzo.
No, the veteran player.
Oh,
Rondo wants to be a point guard too. So it's like, who's going to shoot?
right.
Maybe KCP, which, KCP is not I don't know.
Yeah.
He's not a
And
good point shooter.
LeBron
They're
that
not
I
shooters.
know, the hungry LeBron that I know will go out and recruit. If you notice, I didn't think LeBron did a lot of recruiting, because we had a really good chance of getting Paul George. We really, really do. Now I understand, yes, Russell might have convinced him to stay in OKC, but I felt like the LeBron that I know knows how to attract players. When LeBron said he was going to Miami, he attracted Ray Allen, Rashad Lewis. He attracted so many, Mike Miller. He attracted so many pieces, to come play with him. So I'm like, okay. And same thing with Cleveland. The same guys that left Miami, some of them actually went to, they went to Miami just because Ron is there, right? Right. So now I'm looking at the pieces that are around now. They're kind of like Bisley, really? Like, I mean, it's like, I mean,
It's possible. So I'm not doubting it. For me, I always like my judgments or my arguments. I like evidence-based arguments, right? That's the way I like to. I've not seen that if this season goes, next season they don't get like an all-star, like let's win now, then I'll 100% agree with you. So I want to first, because personally what I think, which is part of the rumors, is Magic told him, you know what, we have very great pieces here. this 1 year, let's see who can step up. When we know who can step up, then we know who can trade.
So
Then
one
we
year
can
for
talk.
LeBron is a lot though. Like that's the part I still don't like. How do you convince a guy that's 34 that he should wait another year? Like, you know, to me that's I mean I don't know, maybe I agree to it because it's like, okay, you know what, Golden State is definitely Golden State definitely have this year, right? But if
Yeah.
you're that competitive, right? If you're that competitive nature, why would you agree to wait another year?
But the rumor is not even waiting another year. The rumor is Kawhi is going to move. He's going to force it. He's going to force it this thing in January. That's the rumor. But
No.
I doubt it too. Kawhi doesn't feel like that guy. To me,
Yeah.
he's not
Yeah.
that guy that, oh, okay, let's go win. I don't see that in Kawhi. Kawhi just likes to be on the back. Toronto is the perfect place. It's just like I just do my thing. There's no spotlight. That's who Kawhi
Right.
is.
Exactly. Exactly. So now this leads me to believe that, okay, LeBron is here for LeBron. And if we win a championship, great. If you gave me
Great.
some pieces, but I'm not going to stress myself. I'm going to let this, he's a coach in a way. He's the superstar coach. I'm going to
Correct.
facilitate this. If you look at the way he plays now, he's just a major facilitator. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. The young guys, they will listen to him. He's constructed that team, and that's what he does. He constructs the team. He let the young guys run, and he's conserving his energy to create longevity.
I
Right?
agree.
I think that's LeBron's championship now. It's actually a challenge also because now you're playing with guys that are less, skillful. Yes, it's the challenge of coming to a new team and figuring out what to do. But I think I honestly believe that LeBron is not stressed about winning a championship more than keeping his longevity and creating his creating a business outside of basketball. I think that's his championships now.
So are you saying that's the reason why he's so that was my final question about LeBron. Why is he trying to create that longevity? That's what I'm trying to understand. Why do you think so?
I mean, so it's a brand, right? I mean,
So the
any
longer he plays, the longer he plays basketball.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
The longer you can be on, the longer you can be on top, the more money you're gonna make, right? It's still business. It all comes down to money, right? Um,
That's
yeah. So if you go out there, you mid 34s, you're banging your body, you're doing this, you're doing that. Obviously, you're gonna tear, right? You're gonna end up in the bench sometime, right? So I think LeBron is trying to, his main thing now is just to create longevity. I want to show up when I'm needed. I mean, why did he choose to play with a young team, right? Like, why? Why did he leave Cleveland? He left because that team is getting old. That team is, I mean, those guys were getting old and they had contracts, guys in max contracts they couldn't trade, they couldn't let
correct.
go. So he wanted a young team. If Cleveland had a young team, he would have stayed. But it's two things that Cleveland didn't have. They didn't have a young team. They didn't have guys under at least 23, and they didn't have any outside business he can venture into while he's in the city.
They don't have the LA market, Hollywood market.
Exactly. So that's the reason he came to LA. He did. It doesn't matter what it's called. They could have called it the LA Brownies. It doesn't matter. For the fact that those two things were in place, that if it was championship, he would have came to Houston. If he was that competitive, if he
Correct.
wanted to destroy the Warriors, it's easy, bro. Come to Houston. You'll win one right now. But it's not that. It's
Do they have
longevity.
cap space though?
Huh?
Do they have cap space
Oh,
though?
bro, when it comes to LeBron, you create cap space. I can't. That's the honest
They
truth.
have to trade more pieces. I mean, they've already lost. They lost Ariza just to get Melo. They lost. I mean, where are they going to?
No, no.
Who?
I mean. So here's the thing, right? When you have a good chance of winning championship, man, pieces come to you. Like they could have signed Carmelo on the 1 year deal that they've given to him. Guys will take. I mean, look at Boogie now. Guys will take less money if they know there's a good chance for me to win here. Like if LeBron came in Houston, it's bruh, it's as good as anything that
And,
they're gonna win.
and they wanted him though. To be
Yeah,
fair,
yeah.
that manager. I don't invite him to.
Dirk
He went to
Morris.
Houston. Yeah,
Yeah.
he knows how to create cap space
Oh
from
yeah.
nowhere.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He
That's
would have done it. So I think the Lakers decision actually was started 2 years ago. I think I think Kyrie knew about it before he decided to leave and ask for a trade. I think this didn't happen overnight. I think, you know, I think everyone knew about this. I think this was in LeBron is like I said, LeBron is 3 steps ahead of everybody. He constructed this deal. He wanted Magic to be the GM of the Lakers. He wanted Mitch Kupchak out. He created that scenario before he came. He watched Lonzo Ball played. You know, if you look at during the Vegas pregame rookie pregame, he watched Lonzo Ball played. Like he followed the Lakers very, very closely, which I wasn't sure why he was doing all that, but now that this deal happened,
Now
okay,
it makes sense.
yeah, like I see what happened. So this wasn't LeBron didn't make this decision last week. He knew what he was doing. He
So
was
finally, where do you think Lakers will finish in the West?
man. So the West is tough, man. The West is really, really tough because Utah is a good team. I mean, you know what's funny though? If LeBron actually beat LeBron, honestly, I think the Lakers are a very good team. They have length. They don't have shooters. They have length. They have ball handlers. Um, they have good vision guys. They have guys that are not, they're not selfish. I see them. It's hard for me to put them over OKC. I think that's where my issue is. It's hard for me to put them over OKC because
Yeah.
OKC is a really, really good team, and when I watched them last night, they played they played very, very well without Westbrook and Robinson. So I'll have to put the Lakers on at number 4 or 5, right there, just right there,
Okay.
just right
So
there.
I have them at 4-2.
Yeah,
Just just like you said, I have obviously Golden State and Rockets 1 and 2 or 1 and 2 or whatever way they always finish up.
right.
They do their thing. Then OKC is where I have at number 3 too. Especially if Westbrook can come back help because
Oh
man
yeah,
that knee injury is kind of sketchy. They are like hiding the details, so it might be worse than it is. Uh,
yeah, yeah.
Now we dovetail into the West, the Spurs, my San Antonio Spurs. Kawhi broke my heart, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Since our big three left, well, Ginobili, I didn't really count that last year. Last year was just Popovich making him stay. But since the real big three, we're no more big three. Even when Parker was no more Parker, I've kind of gotten to the point where it's like, yeah, let's just make the playoffs. It's fine. I have no hope of anything yet. Until I see new pieces. DeRozan is a very good player. I would have liked DeRozan and Kawhi, and then I know we could have caused some trouble. But now with Kawhi gone and just DeRozan, if I want to say, if I want to make a call, I would say from a basketball standpoint, just a pure basketball standpoint,
Mhm.
because of Popovich and the way he knows how to put teams, it's plug and play, right? He's pretty much the master of pick and roll basketball. So it's plug and play, everybody just comes, fits in the system. And DeRozan is hungry. He's angry and he's hungry. He's coming from that anger because he didn't expect it. I mean, Masai Ujiri pretty much, I won't say tricked him, but like went back on his word. So he's hurt. So
Right.
he might channel that anger. So from a basketball standpoint, I would say slightly, just because of Popovich, I would say Spurs maybe had the better deal. Because I don't know what Kawhi is going to show up in Toronto. I don't know what Kawhi. That's the real key. Toronto have a very, very good team. So because they're East or West, if they were in the West now, I would have said maybe they got a better deal. Because they have a very good team. But
Right.
they're in the East. So, I mean, finishing third in the East, in my opinion, is like seventh in the West. You know that. I mean,
Right. I mean, at the end of the day, it's about win and losses, right?
correct.
Whoever has the most win, whether you're in the East or West, that's how we gauge who's a better team.
Better deal.
Everyone is gonna play everyone twice. You play a
Correct.
division,
Regardless.
yeah. So I think it's the wins and losses that counts if you're better. Now, you think Spurs have got the better deal, dude? You're absolutely wrong. It's
Slightly because of
no.
This is why I say that. Slightly because of Popovich, and also because when the trade first happened, I 100% thought we got the better deal because I thought Kawhi was just using them as a stopover.
hmm
But now that after watching his interviews and the way he's acting, it looks like Masai Ujiri has convinced him.
hmm
It looks like it. He hasn't said it outrightly, but it looks like he has convinced him to stay. If
hmm
that happens, like if he stays more than 1 year, let me just rephrase. If he stays more than 1 year, obviously Toronto would even had the better deal. So
Yep.
let me just say that.
Yep. Yep. And I think, huh?
No,
Do
go
I?
ahead.
And I think there's a 70% chance he's staying. At first, yes, I thought he was just gonna come in. All right, guys, let me go. But when you look at now, the only thing that can reduce this, and I have to watch how the season goes, is his relationship with Lowry. I I felt like what Ujiri should have done was also trade Lowry. I think, DeRozan, Lowry, and the coach, they brought a culture to Toronto. They had this system in place. You've let go of the coach, you've let go of the star player, DeRozan, and you left a bad taste, especially to Lowry. It left a bad taste like, man, you're treating guys really, really, effed up here. You got a coach who got us, to the highest point ever in the franchise history, coach of the year. You fire him, a guy that's
We're
been,
first in the East, right?
huh?
We're not first in the East last year.
Yeah, they were the first in the East. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
like ever. And so a coach that's gotten them to this level consistently, you let him go. Your best player that's stuck, with the franchise that never left during free agency, even though no one wants to come to Toronto, you let him go. Man, I don't know if I want to go all out for you, right? And that feeling might, might rub off, meaning like he might not accept, he might not accept Kawhi, right? Kawhi can go as far as Kyle helps him to, because at the end of the day, Kyle is the ball handler, is the point guard. So that relationship has to work very, very well for Kawhi to stay. So I actually think Kyle Lowry is the X factor. I think he's whatever the jury's saying, yeah, 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 whatever. He's gonna say nice things. He's gonna, Drake is gonna come, see Kawhi, whatever, whatever. But I think Kyle Lowry, you should have traded him, let him go. So you just give Kawhi, hey, look, this is your team. You got the keys. Run this thing how you want to. But you've left a bad seed that can potentially just destroy the whole thing. Or he might turn around and say, you know what, this is how things are. I'm gonna work with this guy. So I think Kyle Lowry is the X factor that would determine if Kawhi stays. I honestly think so. And when you watch the game, you can see how things play out, right? You can see if he passes in the ball, if you can see how that works. And um, you know, so I mean, who knows? Ujiri might trade Kyle or he might not, but I think that's probably the biggest factor. Why he's
Big
gonna
picture now. Eastern Conference. Who are your picks? Who's going to come out of the Eastern Conference?
Man, Kawhi is the best player in the East. He is the best player in the East. There's no doubt. There's no question. I know people are gonna say Kyrie, blah blah blah, but man, Kawhi is the best two-way player in the league. He is. It's undoubtedly he is the best two-way player. So if that and I know that's like Kyle Lowry is literally the X factor of that team, and I think Kawhi, I think Ujiri, if he doesn't see if he sees a downfall in the team, he's going to trade Kyle Lowry. Now, who wants Kyle Lowry? I don't know. I don't know if there's I don't know if there's a market for him. But if those two can figure it out and work together, and they have a very deep bench, they're a really, really good team. And I, I, I think they can beat Celtics. I actually see them being better because you have, you have the best player in the East. You have a very deep bench.
Yeah, bench is deep.
Yeah,
Siakam
yeah.
and what's the other guy's name? The guy with the Nigerian name. Can't remember his name now.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
So
bench is deep. I
yeah,
agree.
the bench
They
in the
just
East.
have that. I think they just had this mental block with LeBron. I don't know what
Yeah,
it was. When they just played him, it just felt like all of a sudden they couldn't play basketball again. I never understood that. Because how did you get swept 3 times in a row, with or without Kyrie? I never understood that hold that he had over them. I never understood it.
Yep. No, I know. So now that that's gone, right? It's changed the culture. Now these guys have more confidence, especially having the best two-way player. So and people talk about Celtics, but one thing people don't understand is, man, Kyrie and the two best players of Celtics, Kyrie and Haywood, these two guys have only played for 15 minutes. Besides yesterday, besides the game that they had yesterday, they only played for 15 minutes ever. So fitting those two all-stars in an offense, how do you do that? Now you have young guys that are now, you know, they Tatum and Jalen Brown, they feel pretty good. They feel like, yo, I'm
Yeah.
better than this guy. I'm better than Haywood. I want to take the shot. So how do you incorporate 20 plus shooters in an offense that already has that confidence? That's actually not that easy. A lot of people
Exactly.
think, yeah, a lot of people think they'll just come and bam, bam, bam. Oh man, we got a lot. Yeah, sometimes having too much is not always good, right? So, and I think you have to, offense, which is a total of 40 points each. I mean, total of 40 points that you have to incorporate in your offense that has not been done in a long time. So that challenge is probably the Celtics' greatest challenge. How do we mesh this great talents that we have? Unlike, Toronto, they just have, yeah, one key guy you just have to incorporate, which he'll figure it out if Kyle Lowry can help him. But I think the challenge Celtics has is incorporating all these stars together, which I don't think is that easy, honestly.
I agree. I'm still picking Celtics
Oh yeah,
because the fact that Brad Stevens, I think that guy is a hell of a coach. I
yes,
think so. I don't know if he's good enough to win a championship because that's either near or there, but I think he's a hell of a coach. And what I saw him do last year, push Cleveland to 7 games, if not for LeBron just being, who he is and just being
right,
doing crazy.
right,
Like, yeah, without LeBron, there was no. In fact, if LeBron played anyway, just played like average in that final, and Cleveland they were going out. If he
right,
just played average, it was just him being him
right,
himself. It's like going bonkers. So
right. No,
yeah,
I,
so
I, I agree. Yeah, on paper, you look at the names, they should win. But I still feel like they have a bigger challenge than Toronto, which is incorporating these two all-stars into an office that already has the confidence. And you have a bunch of young guys who, they feel like, hey, I'm as good as Haywood. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they have that confidence already. So how do you I don't know. So it's a challenge for the coach to figure out and the team. But other than that, if they can figure it out well, then yeah, they're the better team. If not,
yeah,
they're not. So that's the challenge I see.
I agree. I don't think Toronto is good. I don't think Toronto can beat in the playoffs. I don't think they can beat 76ers. Really, that's my
70.
opinion.
Whoa.
In the
No.
playoffs.
Bro, there's two things the 76ers has is Embiid and what was Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons can't shoot very well. He can get to the paint, he can
Mm-hmm.
drive. You just have a bunch of paint play. Now I know they've gotten the other three, the 3-point shooters. They've gotten Redick and all these guys, right? But they lost Marco Benelli, they lost Elias Silva, they lost some other. Yeah. So you have paint. If you can stop them in the paint, that's it. That's the weapon. That's really it. They have paint players. You have Embiid and Ben Simmons who likes to get to the paint. If you can prevent that, which you can do by Valanciunas, if you have Valanciunas who's a very good defender, they have a lot of and you have Kawhi Leonard who's to me is probably one of the best defenders I've ever seen for a small guy. I think you can stop those paint shootings that they do.
Who's the best defenders?
Kawhi Leonard,
Okay.
Kawhi. So Kawhi, if you put Kawhi on Ben Simmons, he's up. He's done. He's done for the night. So who else do you have?
If we get the same Kawhi, we don't know if we're going to get the same Kawhi.
Man, I'll be honest with you. You know, um, Popovich has a system, right? That works very, very well.
hmm
Now, the system does not create talent, right? The guy has the talent to make
Correct.
and that's why I feel like, Spurs did not get a better deal because, I think if you incorporate DeRozan into that system, I don't.
DeRozan is definitely nowhere as talented as Kawhi.
Exactly. Yeah, he might get into the system, and which to me that might even be an issue because does he really want to be in that system of? I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I think Kawhi just has a physical talent that yes, Popovich system might have might have, got him in, might have exposed it or, made it bigger than what it truly is. But I think he just has physical talents that not even Popovich could create. No one can create that. He's a very good basketball player.
Yes.
So, yeah, you're right. Who knows what it's going to look like, but I think he already has it. He has those
He's a
talents.
late bloomer, though. He was a late bloomer, Kawhi, if you think about it.
Yeah, he
He was
definitely.
just a very good defender. Offensively, let me rephrase.
Yes.
Offensively, I think he was a late bloomer.
Yes, you're right. You're right. You're right. And I think Popovich, and maybe he's gotten everything he needs from the Spurs, right? Maybe Popovich, they've trained him, they've molded him, they've made him
That's
who he is
that's what
today.
is happened. He was doing more shooting for the
Right.
last 4 seasons. Like he was making him shoot more. So
Right. So he's got everything he needed. So I think he's good, honestly. I think. And I've watched the preseason game. He looks like the same Kawhi Leonard. I
okay.
didn't see anything change.
I haven't seen my fault. I haven't seen any of Toronto's preseason games. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, all more power to all the best. I hated everything turned out. To be fair, I think
Yeah.
it was handled really poorly by the Spurs. It was really handled well. You know what? Every organization makes mistakes, no matter how professional, no matter because Spurs has been like one of the best organizations like that I've seen. Sports organization, regardless, not even soccer. So I think organizations make mistakes, and that was a big mistake. The way that was handled, it should have been handled totally differently, and we
Right.
have had different results. So
Right.
it is what it is. So Golden State Warriors, who are the main challenges this season? In the West, obviously, because they have to come out of the West first. Then,
Right.
okay, we kind of talked about the East. You picked the Raptors, so let's just talk about the West. Who are the main challenges in the West?
So obviously there's no challenge for them in the East. The funny thing though, actually, if Celtics figure it out, I think they'll probably if Celtics figure it out, I think they probably will cause more damage than the Raptors. If Celtics figure that offense out, I think they're much of a challenge than the Raptors. Now, I think Golden State's biggest challenge is Golden State. Um, dude.
That's a cliche response. I don't want cliche response.
No, I'm not. You know what's funny? Here's the thing. Man, if you honestly ask me, I see Houston Rockets really giving them a tough time, man. I think, man, the hunger is so massive, man.
I have to come back to that, but go ahead.
No, the hunger is massive. Like, I'm listening to Chris Paul, I'm listening to Carmelo, especially Carmelo Anthony, man. He sounds different. He sounds like a different person, man. He's hungry. I mean, you got to imagine, man. This guy's been in the league for 15, 16 years.
This is
Came in
final
the same
chance.
time as LeBron,
This
Wade,
is his
Chris
final
Paul.
chance.
Yes, like
Final chance.
he's seen his mates, get into different levels, and yeah, you're right. This is his final. Like,
In my opinion, this is his
yeah,
final chance.
this point,
Ring.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he's been in different teams, in and out, and I think now his career is on the line. Man, it's just everything basketball wise is on the line. I mean, now he's accepting the bench role. I mean, for you to do that, you're like, yo, I'm willing to give it everything because if this doesn't work out, man, I give him 2 more years before he retires. So this is his last shot. It's a 1 year deal. So literally, for you to get re-signed again, it literally takes you to lift, it takes you to lift the trophy before you get re-signed again. So I think Houston hunger is the reason why they will. It's two things: Houston's hunger and Golden State's complacency will be a factor. Um, you can't coach those guys, man. You can't coach them. You can't coach guys that have won 3 championships back to back. How do you coach them? How do you make them show
It's
up?
not back to back yet. Yeah, it's 3 and
Yeah,
4.
too, but they won 3 in the last 4, right?
Correct.
So
Yeah, it's like back to back.
yeah, so a lot of them. How do you tell a team like that to practice? How do you tell a team like that to? I think they're just complacent. I mean, in the back of their mind, man, we have Boogie chilling. Like, so it's a combination of those two. If those two things are really strong, I do not see the Golden State Warriors winning.
Oh, wait. You not see Rockets winning. You mean?
I don't see Golden State beating. I don't see them winning the championship this year. If Houston Hunger stays consistent as it is,
Okay.
and And Daryl Morey is a great manager. They're not done. That team is not done. What you see is not done. They're still going to make more trades. They're still going to keep making more push. Just the other day, they were trying to trade for Butler. They were trying to make a trade for, I don't know if you heard about it, but they were trying to, let go of PJ Tucker. Maybe, I don't know. I think they were also gonna let go of, Jesus, what's his name? The six men of the year. Not coming to me right now.
What?
Yeah,
Um,
uh, it's
I
not
don't
coming.
understand. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, it just they were gonna let go of both of them to get Jimmy Butler. Now, I would make that trade.
You make it?
I would make that trade. Yes, your bench would be garbage, but man, imagine Jimmy Butler. I mean, James Harden, Chris Paul, and that Carmelo, dude. That lineup is crazy. It's Jimmy Butler is the second best two-way guard behind Kawhi. So if you have that, That's that's a crazy team right there. But your bench is garbage. Your bench sucks.
True.
So so that's why I think they were reluctant to make that deal. But I think Houston they're hungry. They were very very close.
Last year.
Yeah, they were very very close. So that taste is still in their mouths. Chris Paul and Carmelo Anthony are not playing games. These guys are not playing. They will die before they lose. At this point, they will die before. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how much it would take to beat them. So you have that hunger that has to be consistent, and then you have Golden State's man. All right, let's move through this thing. Like we got Boogie Cousins, we'd be fine. Steve Kerr has the toughest job in the world. I know it looks simple, but man, it's not easy. How do you? These guys are used to winning. Like, how do you tell them, hey man, come to practice, hey, work on this? You can't tell a person that has been winning back-to-back championships to work on anything. He's a champion. I know how to do this thing. I don't need to
Right.
change anything. Like, I know how to win. I already have three championships. I only have three rings at home. I know what to do. You can't coach me. You can't tell me what to do. So it's tough. You have that. How do you get these guys to start thinking of being hungry and being because every night they're gonna get every team's best. They're gonna get worn out. Every team that comes after Golden State, they're getting their best. They're gonna warm out. So how it's tough. It's tough.
I
Honestly,
agree.
it's really tough. So a combination of those two things, if it plays out, meaning Golden State has to destroy themselves and Houston has to be very very hungry. If those two things happen, Golden State does not win a championship.
I agree to an extent. Um, I think on Houston's side, one disadvantage I see is that helped them last year was the ability to switch it up, the defense. They switched everything up against
Yeah.
State.
Yeah.
The main guys that helped them do that, Ariza.
Dude.
Ariza is a very, very, was one of the best. Defense. The problem about Ariza though, like we know, and I guess that's kind of the downside of playing Golden State is that's why I agree with the Jimmy Butler trade, right? Two-way. Ariza is just an awesome defender when he puts his mind to it. He's awesome. But going forward, man, he was trash in that final, man. He was just eating breaks after breaks after breaks. And like when it was time to even change it, he couldn't change it, he just kept hitting breaks. So
Right.
I yeah. So the reason that they lost, they need to get somebody else because if they are still going to stick with what they have, I don't know. Then the second problem I have with them is Chris Paul, his hamstring, bro.
So they made a trade with the Suns to get Brandon Knight. Right? Are you aware of the trade? They made a trade to let go of Ryan Anderson and they got Brandon Knight and another young piece. So Brandon Knight is a very solid point guard that I think they would not be utilizing. So Houston Rockets they got Brandon Knight and they got Michael Carter Williams,
Okay.
who's also he's so this is the third string point guard. And you also have James Harden who can play point at any time. So I think they're going to be very mindful of Chris Paul. They're not going to outwork him, which I kind of think they did last season.
They're trying to get that first position. They did, I think.
Yeah. So I think they're going to limit his minutes because they know, yes, our biggest challenge is Golden State. So I think they've learned their lessons from last year to manage his minutes, let the young guys kind of build their core, let them, because they do. I mean, Brandon Knight and Marta Carter Williams, those guys are really good.
Yeah.
So I think that's where Del Morrill is going. He's, because last year they didn't really have another good backup point guard, that can come in for Chris Paul. I can't really think of one that was good enough, but I think they got those two pieces for Chris Paul. So I think that should help, honestly. So I think that should help the injury case.
Their coach though, he only plays one way. I don't trust that guy. He's always been like that from his days, with Phoenix. I don't
Yeah,
trust that guy.
but it
I
works
forget his name.
now.
Mike, what's his last name again?
Mike D'Antoni.
But yeah, it works, but
Yeah,
it does not win a championship, bro. There's a difference. It's not how you've won or you've not won. I don't believe in, almost doesn't count. It's not for that long, right?
right.
For that long. If he's a new coach, if it's the Brad Stevens, or whatever, he will learn, right? You have to learn to switch it up, man. That's what I like. That's why I like Pop when he had the talent in his prime. Pop will switch it up. Like that last year, dude, when they were 3-2, was it 3-2 or when it was 3-3? At some point, should have told Hardy, okay, bros, let's stop. No more 3 point. Can we drive the ball and let's try and shoot some twos? He just lets it and he comes out press conference and says, oh, he's what did he say in the press conference? He came out and said, if you shoot 30 something trees, if this percentage goes in, I mean, you can get this amount of points. I'm like, really? Like, he's saying things as if he doesn't understand, like, the average best 3 point shooters are 30 something percent shooters. If you do the maths on the amount of threes they shoot in game 6 and 7, come on, bro.
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't know you.
That's
I,
what blew
I,
my mind. I'm like, this is a coach. I'm just a watcher who has watched it. This is player that lives and breathes. He knows it 100 times better than I do. He knows basketball. How can he come out on air and say, oh, if you throw this amount of threes, this percentage, you should have gone. It just didn't go in. That's why. Really, bro? It doesn't go in?
right. But I mean, no, you're right. You're right. I watched Game 7, and yeah, I was saying a lot of things. I'm like, come on, man. Like, you gotta.
Switch it up. Try
Yeah,
something else. If it doesn't work, then you hold your hand up and say, okay, yeah, these guys are more talented than me. That's the way I look at it. Try
right.
something else. You can't
But it was a
do the
little
same
too.
thing. He did the same thing through game 6 and 7. I'm like, really, bro?
But it was a
I,
little
I was disappointed, dude.
but I think it was a little too late to make that change. I mean, you've been doing it 82 games. You've been doing it all season, and it's worked. It's gotten you to number one. So it's gotten you to a 3-2 lead, right? And a lot of people make the argument that if Chris Paul had been there, we would not be having this conversation,
I
right?
agreed.
So,
I agreed. I
so
agreed to.
right. So how do you change the system? And games 6 and 7 is 2 days apart. It's hard. You can't. I mean, these guys are emotional. These guys, all you have to do is just win one more game. Like, so for you to not come in and say, hey, by the way, you know what? I don't think it's working out. So forget everything we've been doing for the last 82 game. It's too late in the game. Like,
I,
we've committed to this thing and we're gonna die by it. So I think that's what happened. Like, and I think he's gonna make adjustments. I think they learned a lot from last season that they are gonna make those adjustments. But I think it was too late to make it in game 6 and 7, in my opinion. But yeah, you're right. I think, yeah, he should have made changes, but then I think about, okay,
I agree. I mean,
no. So yeah, I mean, I think,
I agree. I think he's a purist, right? The Anthony is a purist. The Anthony is a purist, right? Purists just like they live and die by their principles. So
mhm,
I know that that's how he has always been. So it's like
mhm.
it's okay. I mean, to end, this has been a good conversation. To end it, I have some interesting trivia for you.
I got
From
my
Lakers,
Google.
yeah.
I got my Google for you.
No. This has to be straight from your memory bank as a Lakers fan.
Yeah. All right, let's give it a shot, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's all fun and games. Some of them are probably easy. So let's start. Yeah, number one, I want to see your hand when you answer this question. I want to see your hand. I don't like where your hand. I don't like where your face is looking at your hand. I want to see you looking straight at me.
Yeah.
That right hand. Where's that?
Which right?
I trust. I want to trust you. I don't want to look down. You have to look it straight at me when I till answer the question. Who made the game-winning basket in Game 4 against the Kings in the Western Conference Finals, 01-02 for the Lakers? The year of the three-peat.
Derek Fisher? No.
I'll give you 3 chances. No. Nope.
And it's not Shaq. Is it Shaq?
Nope.
Was
Last
it Shaq?
chance. Western Conference Finals.
Robert Horry?
Yeah.
It was Robert Horry.
Robert Horry.
Yeah, I mean, no. Those were the three. So those are the 3 guys that made like high, game-winning shot for us. I remember Shaq's, I remember Derek Fisher's, and I remember Robert Horry. So it was that was the only 3 choices. If it wasn't Robert Horry, then I have no idea who it was. So those were the only 3 I remember. So yeah, so cut everything else and just keep my Robert Horry.
Kobe was drafted. This one, dude. I'm not giving you. There's no options for this one because you are a Black Mamba follower. You are part of the followers club, so you definitely know this. Even me, I know this, so I know you know this. Kobe was drafted right out of high school in 1996. What NBA team drafted Kobe?
The Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah, that's an easy one. I just have to give you that one. So, I have to give you that one.
Okay.
2002 finals. The final question. How many total points did Shaq score?
2002 finals.
Yeah, the finals of the three-peats.
In the whole entire series, or the last game?
No, entire series.
The entire series. God damn. Shit, is it over 100? Obviously, it's over 100, but
I'm not giving you any clue. One chance. I gave you a clue with that number 1 when I should not give you a clue. So.
How many points did Shaq score in the whole entire series in 2002? I know in 2002 they faced.
What I'll do is, if you are close enough, if you are like 5 points away from it, I'll give you it.
Dude.
If you are 5 points away from it, I'll say yes, correct.
Let me ask you this. Is it a 3-digit number or is it a 3-digit number? Yeah. Now the next question is.
Was it not the MVP? I don't know. Was it not the MVP? Shaq was there. What was his job? Scoring. So,
now I'll go with 200.
Okay. No. The answer was 145 points.
145. Yeah, because I tried to, because I know Shaq was averaging at least 25 a game, and I know that game got to about 5, 6 games. That series I think got up to about 5. So yeah, I was trying to average it.
Who did you guys play? Was it Utah? I think Utah.
No, you mean Utah? No, it was probably Philly. 2002. We played Philly.
Oh, it can't be Utah. Utah is in the West. What am I saying?
I think we played Philly in 2002. Yeah. Yeah, that was Iverson. That's when we just kept facing Iverson. Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah. So I mean, hey man.
Thanks for coming on the show.
No problem, man.
It's been a great conversation. For all the viewers, leave comments. Follow us, Facebook, Twitter. At the end of the podcast, you see our Facebook page, Twitter handle, YouTube handle, and leave a comment. Keep it interactive. Thanks.